Hey, welcome back, my friend. My name is Danny Dumas. If you read the title of this episode, you know I have something big to tell you. The big thing I want to tell you is that this is my 3-year anniversary, and that will be the last time I introduce this podcast as the Earn Your Title podcast. This will be the last one. Before I tell you about that decision, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening for the last 3 years. This will be episode 163. I have got 59,728 downloads. That just blows my mind. Thank you so much. If you have shared this episode, if you have sent this to somebody, I really appreciate it. It is just so helpful. It just means so much to me. I've been able to talk to some of you on the phone, and we've chatted online, and maybe I've been able to, speak some positivity into your life and to help you work your way through some problems. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Out of those almost 60,000 downloads, 51,000 of them have came from North America. So to my North American people, thank you so much. And then surprisingly, I've had almost 3,500 people from Australia, New Zealand area, the Oceania. Thank you so much. Good day, mate. I apologize for any bad accents I'm going to do here. A close third is my friends from Europe. You have been watching. A bunch of people from Africa have listened and watched, as well as Asia. And not surprisingly, because I'm not speaking Spanish, but South America is not as much. I thought my Chilean family would, maybe kick that number up a little bit. But I really do want to thank you. And when it comes to no longer being the Earn Your Title podcast, I just spent about a month on vacation. And I had a lot of time to think about this podcast and the work that goes into it and the time and effort that I've put in and the results that I've gotten. And after a month of thinking about it and, praying about it, I decided that this is still really awesome. And I'm just going to change the name. I will now be the Husband, Father, Leader podcast. It basically just sums up, instead of people trying to figure out what this podcast is about, Earn Your Title, what that means, it's going to tell them exactly. Because I want to be laser focused. If you are a man who is married, has kids, and is leading your family, leading your community, leading at your job, I want to be here to help you. And so I'm changing the name to the Husband, Father, Leader podcast. What this will look like today, you notice nothing has changed in my logo, nothing has changed in the title. In 2 weeks, I will have the same logo, but the title will change to the Husband, Father, Leader podcast. I will keep that for 2 more weeks, and then the next 2 weeks, so like 6 weeks from now, I will have a new logo. Basically, if people don't listen to this one and you start scrolling through your podcast player, I want you to see the title or to see the logo and still go, oh, that's it. So I'm phasing it. So for the next 2 weeks, no changes. Then I'm changing the title, and then I'm changing the actual artwork, so it will reflect the Husband, Father, Leader podcast. I'm still working on the logo because I'm not very creative when it comes to that. So hopefully it will be done. This gives me a little runway. But again, I just want to thank everyone so much for listening. It means a lot to me. And which brings me to the actual topic of this conversation is I'm going to challenge you to do something that puts yourself out into the world to make a better place. That has been my goal with this podcast. I have dedicated 162 days where I sat down, actually this will be 163, where I sat down, thought through an idea. Hopefully it was well thought out. I'm sure I've bombed on a few of them, but I appreciate your patience with that, and just tried to make the world a better place. It's interesting, out of the 163 that I've recorded, there was only one that I ever recorded and I didn't release. I recorded it with somebody. He was really nervous. I don't think he was quite prepared for the interaction online. It was tough, and he asked me not to air it, so I didn't. I thought it was okay. It would have been all right. But so, I've sat down. I haven't missed a week in 163 weeks, which to me was awesome. Like I'm proud of myself. Like that's hard. So what is it in your life? Obviously it doesn't have to be a podcast, but if it does, reach out to me. I feel like I have a really good understanding of how to have a successful podcast. Now, I'll be honest with you. I would love for this podcast to be more successful, which is part of the reason I'm changing the name. Not to get into the business of podcasting too much, but there's not really a search engine for podcasting. I mean, obviously you go into your podcast player and you type something in, but it's very limited. Like Google doesn't crawl my podcast site to try to figure out what's on it. It just goes by the title. And when you're looking at it, you're just getting this little tiny, especially on your phone, which is like 80% of the people listening are doing it on phone. And of the 80, like 60 of those, 70% of those are iPhones. Just, interesting. You're seeing that little picture. So hopefully that little picture is going to pique people's interest. But it's not very good at, auto, it's like YouTube just feeds you stuff. Podcasting doesn't do that. So I'm trying to find something that, it says exactly what I'm working for. And, when it comes to you, find something that, really speaks to somebody. This could be mentoring at a school. It could be finding somebody who's just 5 or 10 years behind you. You have no idea the impact that just some good advice could give. Now, usually before you can give good advice, you have to build a relationship. That's usually criteria for building good advice, or for them to be able to accept good advice, is to building that relationship. So start now. There is some young man that needs to hear what you've been going through. And this might be real. This is probably more important than what I'm doing. There's some young man that needs to hear how terribly you messed up. You might have gone through something in your life and you just straight up grenaded your life. You blew it up. You did something which you consider horrible, and you could go back and share the lessons you learned, whether maybe it's infidelity, or maybe it's a criminal offense, or, it's drinking or gambling, or it's an addiction, or it's something that you are dealing with. I think this world would be a better place if you share those failures. I have tried to be very raw with my failures, with my emotions, to show you that I'm not perfect, that I'm trying. There's something that you can do. There is somebody in this world that you could speak to make it a better place. Maybe you're not a people person at all. Go make a ton of money and give it away. I think the world for you will be a better place when you have a mission that's bigger than yourself, even bigger than your family. And now I don't think your mission should ever become before your family. I always, like, my daughter is asleep tonight, right now while I'm recording this, because I didn't want to take any time away from when she's awake. I put her to bed. I read her a book. Now I'm doing this. This is my mission, but my mission is not more important than my family. But because I have a mission, I think I'm a better dad. Because I'm thinking through, for me, it's, what am I going to talk about? Like, what are the things that I'm going through, the challenges, and how am I trying to improve it? That's my mission. You'll be a better husband, father, and leader when you have a mission. So find something, volunteer at an organization, make a lot of money and give it to something that you believe in, and actually like help implement it. Like, go out and just make the world a better place. You can do it. And when you're doing that, this is important. Do not be afraid to change. I was very hesitant about changing the name. I went through, if you go through the podcast player on Apple, you type in like husband, I'm in the top, I think I'm in the top 10 or 15. If you type in father, I'm up there. If you type in how to be a good husband, and maybe this is like I have cookies built into my podcast player, but my podcast shows up number 1, and I was nervous. Like, I don't want to lose that, But don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to fail. I have produced some episodes that didn't sound good, didn't look good, probably weren't the best thought out, but I wanted to be consistent and put things out, and I wasn't afraid to fail. Hopefully this is continuing to improve the sound quality. I was in South America. I was on a balcony in the middle of a big city, trying not to let you hear the honks, but I'm trying, and I want that for you. If you need help, my email is danny@dannydumas.com. You want to brainstorm something where, like, hey, I have this idea for a charity. I want to teach kids how to weld. I want to teach kids how to fish. I want to teach young men how to treat their wives. You can do it. I am totally average. I like to say I'm super average. I am just the normal guy that's trying to make it. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to have a good relationship. I'm trying to, be a man of God. I'm trying to do all these things. And I think that's the important part. I'm trying, and I want that for you. I believe that for you. I can't wait for the next 3 years. I think this podcast is going to go and do great things. And if you could help me, I would appreciate it. A review or a share, like, hey, you got to listen to this guy. Sometimes he says something good. Sometimes he's silly. Whatever you could do to share this podcast out, I would really appreciate it. So for the last time, unless everything changes and I go back. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Podcast. See, I messed it up. I'm going to leave that in because it happens a lot. And now, actually, when I said it's the last time I'm going to say the Earn Your Title Podcast, I'm sure I'm going to start a podcast, say that, and then forget I have changed the name. So let's try again. My name is Danny Dumas. This was the Earn Your Title Podcast, and I will talk to you later. Bye.